The rain on station Kepler 442 fell in perfect spheres, each droplet a tiny crystal that shattered against the metal grating with musical chimes. Adnan pulled his jacket tighter as he walked through the lower districts, the familiar weight of his toolkit reassuring against his shoulder. 3 years as a maintenance engineer on this backwater trading post had taught him to appreciate the small comforts: steady work, decent food, and the peculiar beauty of artificial weather systems. He almost missed her. The small figure huddled between 2 cargo containers was barely visible in the dim amber lighting. Adnan might have walked past entirely if not for the soft, broken sobbing that cut through the rhythmic patter of synthetic rain. He stopped, his engineer's instincts kicking in. Something was wrong, something needed fixing. "Hey there," he called softly, approaching slowly. "You okay?" The figure looked up and Adnan's breath caught. She couldn't have been more than 12, with the distinctive lavender skin and silver hair of the Vailani species. But it was her eyes that stopped him cold. Large violet orbs filled with a desperation so profound it made his chest ache. Her clothes were torn, expensive fabric now reduced to rags, and a small travel case sat beside her like a loyal pet. "Please don't call security," she whispered in accented standard. I have nowhere else to go." Adnan crouched down, maintaining distance to avoid frightening her. "What's your name, kid?" "Nehal." She wiped her nose with the back of her hand, a gesture so achingly human it reminded him why the Vailani were considered humanity's closest allies. "My stepmother. She said I wasn't welcome anymore, that I was too much trouble after Papa died." The pieces fell into place with the cold precision of a ship's computer. Vailani inheritance laws were complex, but Adnan knew enough to understand the implications. Without a blood parent to protect her, Nehal had become a liability. Another mouth to feed with no political or financial advantage. "Where's your family? Your clan?" he asked gently. "Papa was an outcast. He married a human woman, my mother, before the treaties. When she died birthing me," Nehal's voice trailed off, "the clan never accepted us. And now Papa's gone and his new wife has her own children to think about." Adnan felt something crack inside his chest. He'd seen enough abandoned kids on various stations to recognize the signs. The careful way she held herself, the resignation mixed with desperate hope. But this was different. This was a child of 2 worlds belonging to neither. "Listen, Nehal," he said, settling cross-legged on the cold grating. "I'm going to ask you something and I need you to be honest with me. What do you need right now?" The question seemed to break something in her. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks as she looked at this human stranger who had bothered to stop to ask, to care. "I need someone to want me," she whispered. I need a home. A real one. I won't misbehave, I promise. I can cook, Papa taught me. I can clean. I can help with whatever work you do. I just don't want to be alone anymore." Adnan closed his eyes for a moment, thinking of his small apartment in Sector 7. 1 bedroom, a kitchenette, barely enough space for himself. He thought of his savings account, modest but stable. He thought of his quiet life, predictable and safe. Then he looked at Nehal again. This brave little girl who had asked him to be her father with the same careful politeness she might use to request directions. The absurdity of it should have sent him walking. Instead, it made him smile. "Okay," he said simply. Nehal blinked. "Okay?" "Okay, I'll be your dad. Temporary at first, we'll need to figure out the legal stuff. But yeah, kid, you can come home with me." The transformation was immediate and heartbreaking. Nehal's entire posture changed, shoulders straightening as hope replaced despair. She scrambled to her feet, clutching her case. "Really? You mean it? You won't change your mind tomorrow?" Adnan stood, extending his hand. "I mean it. But we need to set some ground rules. First, you call me Adnan until you're ready for anything else. Second, we figure this out together. No secrets, no pretending everything's fine when it's not. And third," he paused, grinning, "you're going to help me upgrade my apartment's life support systems. I have a feeling we're going to need better air recycling." Nehal took his hand, her grip surprisingly strong. As they walked toward the residential sectors, she chattered nervously about her favorite foods, her father's stories about Earth, her ability to speak 6 languages. Adnan listened, already planning modifications to his living space, calculating expenses, wondering how to explain this to his supervisor. "Adnan?" Nehal's voice was small again. "Yeah? Thank you for not walking away." He squeezed her hand gently. Thank you for asking. Takes guts to put yourself out there like that. As they rode the lift to Sector 7, Adnan reflected on humanity's strangest strength. Not their technology or their stubbornness or their adaptability, though those mattered. It was their inexplicable willingness to expand their definition of family beyond blood, beyond species, beyond logic itself. The galaxy was vast and often cruel, but it was also full of small moments like this, a human engineer and an alien child, choosing each other against all odds. It wasn't the stuff of legend or interstellar headlines. It was just love, practical and fierce and utterly human. And in that moment, as the lift doors opened onto his floor and Nehal looked up at him with absolute trust, Adnan knew they were both exactly where they belonged.